Night. Got a damn good show for you tonight. Oh, can I say that? All right, here we are Wednesday. SFMF Live, just on Sunday. We'll give everybody a little bit of time to tune in. You know what I always want to know too is like Lay Cookie says he listens to Wednesdays driving home from work. So who else listens to it on the road during the week, right? The weekday. I got to tell you, we've been discussing with the production team the Wednesdays. I think we even asked about it last time. Should we continue with the Wednesdays? It's a work day. That's why it's an hour later for some. Maybe it helps some of you. East Coast has got to help. West Coast, I guess maybe not so much. It's still early. Hawaii, you're on your own because it's in the middle of the day still. But we are live Wednesday night. We love doing them. All right, we're up on the screen. Funny, you got the camera pointed forward again. It is Wednesday night. Roll call. Hot Rod is here. Where are you in from? Where are you tuning in from? And are you on the road? Yes, Carrie Ann Marie Potts from the UK. Good to see you. You're watching live. 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. Nice. Ganesh, get it. Ray's here. Ray from Queens, 1775 era. Information. OG. Good to see you. What up, brother? Always good to see you. Mike Smith, good evening. Glad you enjoyed my DI story earlier. That was good. That was good. Paris, California. Doc, what's happening? The Motor City, Detroit. OG, I have some family in Detroit. Hiram, People's Republic of New Jersey. All right. The People's Republic. Randall, present and accounted for. Jordan Hammond, good evening, SFMF. I've been praying for you and your family. Good. I got a couple of prayers I want to get out, prayer requests from all of you I want to get out early in the show. Yeah, it's great to see you all tonight. It is Wednesday night. Who's watching from home? Who's watching on their drive home? Lay Cookie should be on here pretty soon. And I just heard from him prior to the start of the show, and that is one of the prayer requests from one of our leatherneck devil dogs warrior breed. Suburban Detroit. All right. Streetsboro, Ohio. All right, Streetsboro, Ohio. I think that's why I miss a lives fall asleep. Yes. Carrie Ann Marie, you fall asleep. All right, we'll have to keep you engaged this night. SFMF Doc wants to know how the whole production team's doing. All right. Papa Smurf, the OG. Good evening, Sergeant Major from Soho, New York City. All right. Carl Green. All right. Well, getting everybody in the house tonight. Carl Green coming in hot. You see him? Watching that market crash right now. Is it still crashing?
We don't have any money.
Good, yeah, good thing we don't have any money. Makes it easy for us. USMC Cece and Kimi Cocoa Puffs. All right, where's Annie Banani? Remember, there's two more Cece's that aren't on here yet. Soon. Who's going to be the first victim behind the camera? Which Cece girl?
I'll just give it 5.
I wish I could twist that camera a little bit. Carl, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Gifted 5. USMC Cece is a member. Is she? How did you get a membership? Because she a band hammer. Kimi's a band hammer. She doesn't get one. There's Annie Banani. Hey, oh, she was first. But Kimi Cocoa Puffs is number 1. Again, thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. Tariffs hitting hard. That market. All right. Today is April 2nd, right? That's when he said, that's when he promised it's going to happen, and it's happening. I can't. Kimi and USMCC, you're both members. Yeah. You're not green because you're, I don't know what color that is. The purple?
Because you're colorblind.
Is that purple?
No, it's either aqua teal or blue.
Because they're Hamels. It's a ranch, but it's a Hamel. And you're a member. Lucky. The boss. I'm the boss. How's everyone doing? We're all doing great. The boss 2287. When it's down, buy more. See, do we have any money to buy? We should buy now.
We're trying to invest in Boxable.
A Boxable. Somebody mentioned that already.
Yeah.
Ghost Bill Post Production. Question for you. You used to live in Florida? No. I have family in Florida, though. I've been there a few times. Like it. Little like Hawaii. A little more muggy, I think, in Florida. Beautiful, but maybe not as beautiful as Hawaii. Jake Awesome, blue. Those are blue. Jake's green. I think my family mixes up colors on us just to, me and Kimi Cocoa Puffs. They mix up colors. I think they're all colorblind. I want to do 0311. D Boss, do it. 0311. Infantry, you made it. Go for it. You will have no regrets. Maybe if I sit back, it'll look normal. Good evening, Sergeant SGM Seneca. You must be Army or from an Army family. That's how the Sergeant Major abbreviation is for the Army. Double tap the screen right now. You heard guns. Everyone, double tap. Jake, both. Carrie Emery Potts. Mrs. Cece sounds louder. We can hear her more. Yay. Come around the screen. She's going to come around. Here she comes. Maybe if Carrie Emery asks, she'll come. Blue is mod. Blue is mod. It must be. If that's blue, like right now, Kimi's blue. So green is member, blue is mod. I got it. Yeah, I thought it was. Okay. You look like the sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. Sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. Gunny Sergeant Hartman. He's old. They look old. We can hear her, but we can't see her, Doc. Let's go. I keep telling her. Come on, producer. She's feeling the pressure. Keep it up. Yes, he was in 82nd for 6 years. Who? New members. Got some new members already? Man. All right, here we go. Jake, is that you, Jake, with the John McJunkin crew? Good evening, Sergeant Major. I'm back and still in the fight. It's John. Still in the fight. Health could be better, but all day, any day above the mud, dust, and dirt is a great day. Great to see you back, John McJunkin. Awesome. Couldn't be happier that you're all right. You're getting better. Again, a day above ground, right? When you get our age, where's Jared? When you get our age, that's a good day. When you wake up and you're above ground. Good on you, John McJunkin. Welcome back, brother. Straight up looks like Gunny. I look like the Gunny from Full Metal Jacket. Gunny Sergeant Hartman. Welcome back. So good to see you. John, much love and much prayers. Prayers out to everyone. Again, good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, SFMF Live. Glad to see y'all. Been a busy, kind of crazy couple of days for us here since Sunday, but we are back and we're glad to be producing, right? That's what we do. Couple of shout outs or prayer requests. Our good buddy, John Brown, hasn't been on the show, but he's an OG. Lay cookies time. We had a crew, the four of us, Robles, Brown, Lay Cook, and yours truly. PFCs, Lance Corporals, and then Lay Cookie back down to Lance Corporal, PFC, private. He liked all those ranks so much he did them a couple of times. OG was there. This is the OG crew. John Brown is having, again, some health issues, quadruple bypass surgery and heart valve repair surgery coming up this Friday. So he'll be in our prayers. Unfortunately, his wife was going through some health issues as well. So to the whole Brown family, um, prayers up for you guys. Prayers, we'll be keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. And Sunday, I'll be passing the good news that everything went okay. Prayers for John McJunkin. Again, we're so glad to have him back with us. And anyone else that needs Michael's Jones, if he's out there, anyone else that needs prayers, um, yeah, all of you. Yes. OG, please text Emma. And just Friday's a big deal, so we'll be praying. Thanks, Randall. Uh, it's prayers. Look at that dude, prayers. Hot Rod, thank you, brother. Carrie Ann Marie, thank you, Mr. UFO. May your will be done. You see it right behind me, right? I don't want to turn my back to the camera. In God we trust, and that's in all things. Faith, right? You have to have faith. Prayer works. On the fridge that you can't see, and this was, I don't know if I told that story. We took a couple magnet um, letters from grandma when we were moving and came out here and unpacked them. Really didn't spell anything, but we were checking them out one day and unloading, unpacking as we got here years ago. And funny, not funny, God's plan. The only really words we could make was, what do you think it is? Prayer works? No, I can't even remember. I look at it every single day. Trust prayer, right? Those are the only letters. They probably could have made a couple small words, but to use every single letter, trust prayer. And that's what we do. All right. D-Boss, great question. Do a lot of guys in boot camp get shin splints, and do the corpsmen give them compression socks to help? That is a good question. And yes, I think it's probably pretty common. It's not only shin splints, I think they get Achilles tendon injuries. And what happens when you don't take care of a blister? They get infected. There's a name for that too. Yes, lower extremity injuries do happen. That's why before you go to boot camp, again, physically fit, mentally tough, but put some boots on, go for a run. Don't wait for boot camp to go for a run for the first time, because you're going to be, one, everywhere you go, you're going to be walking fast. So get used to that. That's burning them shins. In tennis shoes, go faster in the beginning, but then boots. So, and yes, I don't know what the corpsmen do. They give you Motrin until you change your socks. But if it's something that needs the compression socks, I'm quite certain that they do. Um, John McJunkin, I feel truly humbled at the outpouring of care, compassion, and prayers from the SFMF family and the Cece family. God bless you all. That's it, John. That's what it's all about here in our community, our warrior-like community, like-minded people. Again, we talked about it a little bit. Maybe they shared it with you, but we have the community of pre-service, active duty service, post-service, and just great Americans. It's awesome. Doc Holliday, thank you, brother. The difference between God and a Marine: God doesn't have to pass PFT to prove he's all powerful. God bless y'all. Amen. I like that, Doc. Beautiful. All right. Kellum Williams, how about we call you Will? This definitely feels like a real brotherhood. The Lord is heavy here, and I love it. Amen. Again, that's what it's all about. God, core, country. Hurrah. Thank you, Doc. It's perfect. Thank you for this. So awesome. Hurrah. The URAH 44 says URAH. You're a cop. I know you. I'm not a cop. I had that asked a few times. I know some cops, some in a good way, some in a bad way. Amen. Amen to all of you. All right. He was. No, I wasn't. Wasn't a cop. I always wanted to be, though. And it seems like I wanted to be one more after the Corps. But because, everyone's, the jobs Marines take after the Corps, right? Pretty interesting what Marines do. All service members, obviously, I know more Marines than I know anyone else, but pretty common. I think probably the most popular job after the Corps is a cop or security or somewhere in that same kind of field that's kind of what we know. And your MOS does have something to do with it, a little bit to do with it. But tell me you wouldn't want a cop when it's in the 90s, right around my drill instructor time, all the staff and SEALs were getting out and becoming cops. I thought that was very popular. I thought that's something that I was going to do. I ended up staying in a little longer than I planned in the beginning. But interesting jobs, what you see people do, starting their own business, right? Love veteran-owned businesses. It's a topic on our board that's going to stay on there forever because we want to support our veteran-owned business. Where's Lay Cookie? Right there behind me, the two signs. Veteran-owned business, support them. JRTC, I think, is kind of popular only because I was in the world when I first retired. So I thought that's what everybody does. There's not really that many. There's only, I think the Marine Corps has a couple hundred schools, right? And 2 instructors per school. It's about probably 400 Marines do that. That's not a lot at all. You can do Navy schools, so maybe 500. Not a lot, but a popular job, I think. And then some people just want to get completely away from anything military whatsoever. So it's interesting what they choose. You got to believe mechanics, probably going to the mechanic field. Some join with that absolutely in mind. Electronics. I'm trying to think of not communications, intel, aircraft, anywhere in the aircraft world, in the air wing, pilots. Clearly, got to think that they become a pilot after. So your MOS does matter. So what do the infantrymen do? Maybe they're all the cops and the security and pretty much anything they want to do, right? That resume, I remember telling cadets early on, that resume when you do serve, whether it's 4 years or a career, I think it kind of bumps you up a little bit in any job application, right? What kind of discharge? Obviously, you want an honorable discharge with a good RE code. What is it, Lay Cookie? Is he with us yet? Well, an honorable discharge, DD 214, and I think that again puts you above the rest. Depending on if you're an admin your whole life, then you want to continue to do that. I think it definitely helps because they know you have the discipline. If nothing else, your primary MOS, they know that you've been to a bunch of leadership schools. Enlisted, we go to all kinds of enlisted leadership schools, from Lance Corporal all the way up to whatever you get out of. So that's an extra bump for Marines. And then just organization, discipline, physically fit, mentally tough. They know that stuff carries you out, carries throughout your life and your career. So look at it like this. You're a CEO of an organization or a company. A little biased here, but who would you want working for you? Someone straight out of high school or straight out of college, or someone who served their country for a few years? You know they've had training, discipline, organization, leadership, right? Every problem is a what? Leadership problem. Every success is a leadership success. You know we're going to talk about leadership here shortly. Yes, suave. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And Marines know that. How about when you get pulled over by a cop that was a Marine? I want to say the most recent pullover, I don't speed, I drive slow, but there are times that I just kind of lose focus and end up speeding for some reason. I think the last time I got pulled over was, no, time before last. Last time was a registration on my truck, and we were going not cross country, but we were driving pretty far. And I knew it. I just didn't have time to update it before we left. This guy wasn't a Marine, but he saw my truck and he said, pretty much, you're a Marine, aren't you? And let me go with the warning. Time before that, I was flying, just not paying attention, right? And I was speeding. I think probably 15, 20 over. Didn't feel like it. And it was safe. I had my family with me. It wasn't dangerous, but I was flying pretty good. And as soon as he walked up, he said, you got to be a Marine. On my license plate, I got a sticker. My tail lights have Eagle anchors inboard, of course. Clearly a Marine. And I don't even do the hand the ID card. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not my driver's license. Here's my driver's. I don't even mess around with that. And this was an older gentleman, been a cop for 35 years. And again, by the time we were done with our conversation, he said, slow down, right? So all how you interact with the police. I don't know how we got on the subject, but usually if the cop is a prior service, I got pulled over in Hawaii one time and this dude wasn't having none of it. Younger guy, motorcycle cop. I don't want to say there are two bogus tickets that I ended up going to court and getting out of them, but I did. I finally, at the last minute, had to pull out the "Did you serve, man?" I didn't say it like that. I was very respectful. Daughter was with me. Wasn't talking on my phone. It was on my leg. This was my old truck, so I didn't have a little. Wasn't on the speakers, and that's what it was for. Talking and driving, texting while driving, which I wasn't doing either. I was talking to my mom. Right, my phone. I called her, put on speakerphone, put on my lap, and then start driving. And not wearing a seatbelt. In my older truck, the seatbelt's pretty loose.
Well, it's only a lap belt, isn't it?
No, it's a shoulder belt, but it's an older truck, so it hangs down a little bit. It didn't look like I was wearing it, and he did. I tried to talk him out of it, and he wasn't having it. Gave me both tickets, and he kind of apologized a little bit. He's like, "Well, we're doing a crackdown right now," because it was this one intersection. There's about 4 or 5 motorcycle cops, and they're just spinning around, waving people over, pulling them over, pulling. I did the right thing. Again, my daughter was with me. I really wouldn't do anything wrong. And then I went to court because I wasn't doing either of those things. I don't think he wasn't lying. He wasn't trying to trick me or trying to get over, but I think that's what he perceived, right? There's that perception. So I go to court and I just gotten my hearing aids at the time. So it's like the first time wearing them. So I was having a little hard time with them. And I go to court, it's my turn. And the lady says, the judge, she's like, okay, I see you got cited for talking while driving and not wearing a seatbelt. Officer so-and-so, I don't see him in the room. Mr. Cece, how do you plead to these charges? I said, not guilty on both. And she said something. I wasn't sure what it was, but I thought she was like, oh, really? So I was like, man, there's no way that I was talking and driving. My phone was on my lap, and I just went to this kind of big story. I couldn't hear it because she was talking straight at me, and I had hearing aids in it. I just wasn't used to it. And finally, another lady, the court reporter, like walks over and she's like, sir, she just dismissed both cases. Stop talking. I was like,
Stop hearing yourself.
oh, okay. And they're both dismissed. One because he didn't show up, and I don't know. I guess she felt my pain. Doc, put that not Doc, John McJunkin, put that back up, please. Thank you, Sergeant. Have a good evening. God bless you and your family. Thanks, Suave. You taking off? Or you hanging out? Hang out. Ask a question.
Jared?
Where's Jared?
Jared would appreciate what I just went through.
Lay Cookie is here. Yes, I noticed it too. If you saw the producer fix the table, it was crooked, right? That's how she started me out. Ben, thanks, D-Boss. I want to list, but I don't think I can do the medical due to medical history. Try. Go to MEPS. Try. What's the genesis done to recruiting? Our waiver is easy to get. Not always, depends on what the waiver is, but we say on the show, everything is waiverable, so get after it.
Everything is waiverable, and everything doesn't need to be documented in Genesis. Like, you don't need to go there for freaking
You heard
broken
the
fingernail.
producer? Everything's waiverable, and everything doesn't need to be documented. Okay, so be careful what you document in there. 581 USMC, 5812 USMC. How to show you are above your peers? Great question. Do more, volunteer more, 100% professional at all times. Those jobs that some people don't want to do, be that Marine. Be the go-to Marine that they always call to give the good jobs to and the not so good jobs to do. The mandatory fun stuff. Get involved in that. Set it up. If you're single Marine and Sailor program. If you're not, support the single Marine program. There's so many other things outside just your job that you could do to show that you are definitely above your peers. Work on the basics, rifle, pistol, PFT, off-duty education. All those help. Everything adds up. So go above and beyond to be above and beyond your peers. What Doc say?
He just repeated the thing.
Oh, so what's misconceptions civilians have about Marine leadership that you'd like to correct? So Doc's always on it, and that's a great point. Here's one. I was in a excuse me. I was in a program. I just saw a single Marine program. I was in a men's group for a couple of years, all civilians. I was the only military member, only Marine in the group. Bunch of local people, and their perception was coming to find out after weeks and weeks, probably months of sessions with them, was like, oh man, you live on base, everything's cheap, you make tons of money, you guys are spoiled, you get military discount wherever you go. A little bitter. They're a little bitter at the extras that the military gets. Of course, we never look at it like that. Like military discount, not everybody does it, for one, and it's usually 10%, maybe 15%, not that much. Yeah, mostly 10%. But the civilian sector sees it as, look at the base housing, free housing, right? That even some military members like to call it free housing. Ain't nothing free about it. They get free housing. They got their own commissary, no taxes. There's like we're spoiled. And I never even crossed my mind that we felt that way. We never felt that way, or people assumed we lived like that because we've lived it. We've been in some crappy base housing. Commissary's good. I mean, those things are good, and it's beneficial. But then you look at what we do to earn that, to deserve it. Talking 3+ years in combat combined, the many field operations, the missing burst of children and graduations and first steps and first words, and the sacrifices that the military member and their family go through, kind of like the least they can do, right? The pay's not great, right? Lay cookie, tons of money. Pay is not great. Retirement is great, but your everyday pay is not. So, and after being with these group of men for a while, they're like, whoa, wow, we had no idea. And it's like, why don't they do more for you? By the end of spending that much time with them, that's how they felt. So a big eye opener, I think, for the civilian community. If there's any civilians on here, ask the questions, because it's a huge sacrifice that the entire family goes through, and not a whole lot of reward. People don't join the military for the pat on the back or the extra bennies. Yeah, education. If you take advantage of every single thing offered, then yeah, it could be a little spoiled. But it's hard to do all of it, or hard to take advantage of all of it, hard to keep up with all of it. So great question. I like that. What is a misconception that the civilian community has about the military? I think that's the biggest one. Uh, Medical and dental. I just got part of that DBOS, and with ADHD meds and antidepressant meds, Kurt is already working on that. Said I was good to go. Meds. The only thing I know about meds nowadays, and hearing it from the when I was in JRTC, that a lot of kids are told you have to be off those meds for at least a year. I don't know if that's just what they've been told or if that's facts, but check that out. If you're on any of those medications, you have to be off of them for at least a year before you can go. Uh, just haven't been told about the mental health hospital stay. Again, Genesis, I didn't even know about that. The producer has heard of that. Just be careful what you enter into there. Loving the interaction between all y'all, both noobs and veterans, helping each other find solutions. Nice work. And that's, again, primarily what this channel is all about, sharing that kind of information. Right? None of us know all the answers, not even the producer. Another one from Doc. How did your leadership style evolve from when you were a young NCO to becoming a sergeant major? Another great question, Doc. And, I'd love discussing leadership because who's a leader out there? If we were to ask, every one of us are leaders, right? In our own specific way. I'm one of those guys that believes leaders are both made and trained and taught. And I think everyone's born with leadership qualities and leadership traits. It's how you utilize them and who you surround yourself with that can pull those leadership traits out. He's a born leader. I think there's some find that leadership sooner than others, right? A lot of things I like to do, I liked with my JRTC is make them get up and speak in front of a class. I'd give them a book report and a country report, and that forced them to get in front of the class, be the teacher or the lecturer, and take command, right? Take charge of the surroundings. Confidence in bearing, that gets you over 90% of the time. That's what is great about the military, and JROTC is building that confidence in bearing to pull that leadership out of you. And it takes time, it takes longer for some than others. Those kids in class always want to be, okay, I need somebody to read aloud. The same kids always read. And the same ones always look away when the teacher's looking for a volunteer. That's what boot camp will do for you, right? Pull that out of you. And it's awesome being in a platoon in MCRD San Diego Paris Island with 89 alpha males, right? The females, alpha females. That's when you get better, when you're surrounded by good leaders. And you gotta outshine them. Someone asked earlier, how do you show you're better than your peers? By doing all those things consistently and constantly. Dominic, recruiter just wants you. He won't sabotage you. That's fine. D-Boss, you can talk to the MEPS interviewer about your relationship with family and tell them you lotus. I can't see it from here.
I have the one from
McJunkin. Let's hear McJunkins. I'll answer that. Oh, she just put it back up. Yes, Young Marine Barcenas asks, sir, do you or any of your Marines get asked to help fight wildfires? Some Marines fighting the canyon fires while at Devil Pups. Yes, you do. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Marines are always ready to assist in any kind of natural disaster. And I've been in a few helping with floods, hurricanes, avalanches, wildfires. Even when, as an engineer, when we start our own fire on Camp Pendleton, we've done that a couple of times. But yes, Marines are ready, willing, and able to do anything. On part of the Muse we talked about, the ships. It's what's the word? ARG. Yeah, a couple of ships out there. There's always infantry battalions floating around the Pacific and the Atlantic, waiting for something to happen, waiting for a fight to start up. Even if it's not a fight, if it's a natural disaster, and that ship, what's it called? Org. That group of ships is in that area, and there's an avalanche war. The one I was on was in Leyte, Philippines, right? They had that big earthquake, then avalanche, and I mean, it wiped out like three different countries all linked together. That's so we turned the ships, and Navy took us right over there, offloaded, and started doing some pretty crazy stuff to help save as many people as we could. Find the ones that didn't make it, um, set up camp, start giving them food, showers, water. We'd set everything up. So 100% Marines will always be there. Now, if a fight breaks out, we get back on the ship and go fight. But if we have the time, the resources, Marines absolutely do humanitarian services all the time. It's good. It's again another great part of being a Marine. Sergeant Major was in a unit that sent Marines to Yellowstone in '88. I remember Yellowstone. Did we go? What was Yellowstone for? We went to Alaska. Is that the one you're thinking about? Went to Alaska to build a road. Right? It cost Alaska too much money. It's going to be like a $4 million project. Marines did it. Probably 40 million. Marines did it for free. Right? Some MREs and some Gore-Tex. So yeah, 100%. And while we were there on our time off from working, when we went into the local town, remember we rebuilt, not rebuilt it, but like painted and did some yard work for a local woman's shelter just to give back to the community. It was pretty awesome. Anytime we get the opportunity to help the community, 100%. Yes. Carl Green, if I'm inclined to doubt, ready my faith, and I'm tempted, make me strong to resist. If I should miss the mark, give me the courage to try again. Amen, Carl. Right? In God we trust, 100%. BMW.
Okay, wait, there's going to be one from Article War. Hold on.
Okay.
See if I'm gonna ask for
Lance Corporal is a leader. Randall, you said it.
to my first duty station, third tracks, and recommendations on how to rank up to corporal faster.
If I was supposed to be listening, did you type it or I was supposed to be listening?
I'm trying to tell you, I'm a Lance Corporal going to my first duty station, third tracks. Any recommendations on how to rank up to corporal faster?
Yes, Lance Corporal going to his first duty station, third tracks. Or I guess in tracker. If you're in a tracker, you ain't, you know what? Yes. How do you rank up quick? Uh, again, make sure you're ready mentally, right? If you studied everything that a corporal does in tracks, and it's going to always boil down to the needs of the corps, but your rifle, pistol, PFT, off-duty education, those are all in your cutting score, your composite score to meet the cutting score, and then you got to be recommended. So pro and cons, your proficiency and conduct mark. If you're not going there, I mean, 300 PFT obviously in a CFT is ideal, but at least a very high first class in both of them. Same with the rifle. You only go once a year, but if you're deficient, try to get on the next range. If you're a marksman or a sharpshooter, try to get on the next range. So mathematically, again, you want to be the best in all those areas right there. And then leadership. Have you done your PME, your professional military education as a Lance Corporal? Did you go to Lance Corporal school? I think they call it now. So anything and everything you can do to help yourself stand out above your peers. MCIs in your MOS. So do you know everything there is to know about the tracks? Right? Those are all things that your new chain of command, your squad leader, platoon sergeant, platoon commander, that's what the things that they're going to want to look at. Tell me what you know about the track. They're going to take you out to a track. I don't know if you're an operator or mechanic. Say again? No enemies. No pro and cons anymore. Wow, JPES. Similar, but a little different. Need about 7 MCIs. No pro and cons. That's a new tier system, right? You got to be rated as a tier 1, 2, or 3. No pro and cons. Wow, that's interesting. All right. Thanks, Guns. That's, again, right? Everybody learns. No pro and con. I don't know. How's everyone feel about that?
Okay, Richard Bridges has a question.
Richard Bridges has a question.
I have a neighbor who loves the Marines, wants to enlist, but has testicular cancer, is now half set. I don't have a hard time that realistically he probably won't get in. He said, as a leader, I never beat around the bush with a bad, and I have an idea on what I should say to this kid.
Okay, he has a neighbor that has testicular cancer. Has or had? Had. Is that going to be a medical disqualifier? I don't think so. If the surgery or the
leaders are having balls now in their leadership positions.
Can I say that? So that shouldn't be not laughing at your neighbor, but she said, shouldn't be a game stopper. We have leaders now that have no balls. Facts, 100% facts. We have leaders without. This camera, I'm twisting. I don't care what you say or do. Keep putting that little twist on it. Yeah, interesting. Again, MEPS can answer that question if he's healthy, right? Besides that, but he's 100% now. Yeah, absolutely. I don't see a problem with that. McJunkin, I'm sorry, I almost got to that. I'm still laughing at the no balls leader thing, because that's what we're dealing with right now and stuff. John McJunkin, they'll be okay, brother. They'll be in touch with you, help them as well as make them proud. I would like to see that again if you could put that up. Doc says, what's a small habit or routine from the Corps that you still do every day without thinking? PT, 100%. Great question, Doc. If I don't get PT in some time of the day, I'm starting off bad. So I do like do it first thing in the morning. That's 100%. I can't imagine. And I've gone a day or two or a couple of days traveling or whatever that I don't get it in, and it's noticeable. Puts me in a bad mood. So 100% PT. A lot of little things. I'm a little OCD and stuff like that. Still, even put on my trousers, left leg first, my civilian clothes, left sock first, left shoe first. I do a lot of weird things like that. So I'm a little extreme when it comes to that. Still, obviously, shave every single day. Right? Look at. I don't go out looking like a bum. I don't. All that they all resonate with me. Still, 100%. Those things come to mind. Anytime I get dressed, anytime I go out, anytime I'm speaking to someone, the professionalism, the courtesy, the tact. That's pretty tough. That's a tough challenge at times. But without a doubt, the number one thing I would say, physical fitness. I still do it now while I can before I get too bad. I have a lot of ailments, right? I got the same as every other Marine: bad back, bad knees, bad neck, asthma, hearing, focus. Some people don't understand the focus issues, but it's all there. So those are some of the bad areas of it. But as long as I get in some PT, good to go. You go back and relive one day in the Corps. Which day would that be, and why? Just one day? You mean because it was so good, or so I could do it differently? Let me see this from Gunny East real quick. JPAS, is that what they call it? Is that how you say it? Evaluates Marines across 4 categories, each contributing 25% of the total score: warfighting, physical fitness, military bearing, and leadership. On MSG, I wrote a score and 2 out of 3, 2/3, more eyes on. So you like it, Gunny? It's a good system. Doesn't get inflated like some pro and cons did. All right, McJunkin Screw, Poolee Stepnick asks, so I'm leaving for boot camp in May. May, a year from now. Not afraid for myself, but worried about the safety and well-being of my parents and siblings. Any advice? Yes. When you go to boot camp, that is for you. You will be able to help your family and your siblings better once you graduate. And the Marines in that same category, a lot of times, I'm going to drop out of this school. I'm going to drop out of boot camp. I'm not going to go on this deployment so I can better help my family. You'll be able to help your family better and be there for your family better once you successfully graduate boot camp. And then when you go to your school, not that you're forgetting about them or leaving them hanging, you'll be able to serve them better once you succeed in whatever your next opportunity or your next battle or situation is. So 100% focused on the mission at hand, never leaving them behind, but just allow them to take care of themselves. You do what you got to do so when you're done, you can take care of them better.
Did you answer Doc?
What was Doc's?
Was one day question?
Oh, the one day. No, because you told me to answer. It's her fault this time. It's her fault.
Can you want to?
What's one day I would do different? Again, I'm going to answer it, I guess, probably two ways. Because funny, on my board right over there, most difficult time. Somebody asked me that recently. What was my most difficult time in the Marine Corps? So one thing I would do different, or do again. Now I'm forgetting the question. Actual basis of Doc.
What would you repeat?
Oh, would I repeat? Would I do again? So I did want to do drill instructor duty again, and I was advised against it many times. I didn't. I obviously listened because I only did one tour of duty on the drill field, but I loved it so much I wanted to do it again. And every leader told me it's not going to be the same when you go back. It's not going to be the same when you go back, and it's really not going to help your career all that much. Because as a drill instructor is hard duty, the hardest duty I've done, most physically demanding and mentally demanding, 100%, the hardest duty station, not counting combat. So 100% the toughest duty. I'm assuming recruiting duty probably is the same way. Rewarding, but very demanding. A lot of pressure put on you. And every leader I spoke to, even the 2 times, 3 times tour as a drill instructor, they always advise against it because as a staff NCO, it's pretty easy duty, right? You're first sergeant or sergeant major of the drill instructors. Really, as a first sergeant, you're in charge of about 10 or 12, 16 drill instructors. When drill instructors are the best of the best, not all, I get it, but primarily the best of the best go to DI duty. So you're a first sergeant in charge of the best of the best. How hard could that be, really? Right? You don't have a bunch of Lance Corporals, PFCs, drunkards, wife beaters, and you don't have all those problems. You have problems, but they're very few, far and in between because you have the best of the best trying to get promoted, meritoriously promoted, move on, want to be a senior drill instructor. They're just doing their very best. So that's one thing I would do over if I could. What's a Marine tradition that doesn't get talked about enough? Okay, you got to remind me of that one. And then things I would want to do again is all the cool schools that I went to. Obviously now I miss them. McQuist, going to the Marine Combat Instructor of Water Survival, was the hardest school I had ever been to. And I let my certification lapse after 10 or 12 years. I went recerted once or twice, and then it lapsed completely. Never do it again at my age now, but actually I would. I would give it a shot. Hardest school I've ever been to. I thought I was going to die every day during that McQuist course. Do it again, Bridgeport. The mountain leader courses, summer, winter. Again, thought I was going to die there. Those are all great courses and instructors and organizations that just truly build on all those things: leadership, confidence, bearing. Those are things that set you apart from everyone else. Right? Those tough schools. A lot of other schools in between, engineer courses, went to all of them. What was cool, interesting, learned a lot. Air Force NCO Academy, Staff NCO Academy, went to that, was cool. But the courses and the people you meet at those courses. The best part of being an instructor at the Staff NCO Academy, all the other MOSs of that rank in one classroom, right? Staff sergeants, 50 Marine staff sergeants from 50, maybe 40 different MOSs. Huge lessons learned. So that's always the best part about going to any school, unless it's more specific. I love the video you did the other day. A couple shorts. I did a couple shorts this week. Remember Vid's thoughts? Thoughts. Oh, yes. Carrie Ann Marie Potts talking about the video that we put out there for the members. Members only had a video of this Cece and little Cece, Cadet Cece. Some drill movements, right? A couple of you have been asking about those. With Menachem, one of them, who's asked me to do an about face tutorial. That's what we did. Myself and Cadet Cece we did facing mode. It's going to be out to the public here in a couple of days. Members got it the beginning of the week, last week, whenever the producer put it out. It's some drill movements, some halted drill movements, facing moves, right face, left face, about face, the 4 positions of rest, eddies, fall out, all those guys. Yes, brilliant, need more like that. We're going to do more, Carrie Ann Marie. Thank you. It was fun. It was really fun. We learned a lot from it. Also, we're going to do some more. What is that red one? I've never seen red. Ray from Queens, 1775. Come on, man. Really? $50. Ray, you are the man. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Thank you, brother. No. And we still haven't. I always get so caught up, so fired up in the conversations that we're having. I keep wanting to talk about the direction, the focus, the mission statement of SFMF. Just want to bring it up, bring everybody up to speed. Good God. Ray, thank you, brother. Amen. Awesome. Holy heck. That's what the producer said. She said it over there. Thank you, brother. And that is this. I'm going to tell everybody what we're going to discuss it, how that is going to assist in our mission, right? Our mission statement. We'll give that here again shortly. Rowan, you too. $4.99. Hoorah. Thank you, brother. Rowan, awesome. That one's blue. I got to change the colors on all these. Semper Fi, Ray. I want to join the Marine Corps. Rowan, YouTube. I want to join the Marine Corps. Here's a start right here. Staying on this channel. Hang out with us. See the kind of things we do when we talk about 4 categories: pre-service, service, post-service, and good old American supporters, or rather Patriots. Members, thoughts on the video. Those of you members, I'm getting scolded right now. All the members, we want to know your thoughts on the video that you did receive on the drill movements. Was it too short, too long? Did you like that it was vertical and not horizontal? What are the questions? Let us know, members. Those of you that watched the 8 to 10 minutes, how long was it? 8 minutes? 12-minute video to the members. Let us know what you thought of it, because we do want to do more. And it was good. It was fun. Heavy J, what's happening? In your military experience, what was a, I loved it, but I'm not doing it again. Yeah, had a few of those. Loved it, but I won't do it again. McQuist, I was talking about earlier. As much as I loved being a Marine Corps water instructor survival, I'm McQuist. Loved it, but wouldn't do it again. It was that tough and that physically demanding. Again, thought I was going to die. Wouldn't do it again. A couple of the hikes, right? Loved those. Losing toenails and all the skin off your feet. Wouldn't do it again. Loved it. That shared misery with people. Some field ops, right? Some of the rock climbing I did. A hike. If you know, you know. Hiking up the top of the Stairway to Heaven in Hawaii. Would never do that again. But I'm glad I did it. So there's been a few. Couple sticky situations in combat. Heavy J, that thank the man above that he pulled me out alive, but would have probably done it a little different. So it is. There's been a few of those times. David Hood, Semper Fi to you too, brother. Jonathan Everhart, From an Army sergeant to you, sir. Who up? Semper Fi soldier. All right, good to see you. So glad to have other services on here as well. Primarily Army, right? A couple Air Force every now and then, Navy. Randall Knapp, I'm telling you, this Doc, Heavy J, Ray, you guys are killing it, getting me started. That's just a Monday. That's what I'm talking about. That's we do more by 9 o'clock than most people do in a lifetime. Whose commercial was that? I think that was an Army commercial. Actually, says it all. And I think that's how I was feeling the other day. Again, members. If you don't tell us what you like about that video, I'm going to catch nothing but heck tonight. Let us know. What?
But it's not showing on this phone.
No, it's perfect. Don't touch anything over here. Don't change anything over here. I don't know if I would change any day, says JU or Jew. Change one thing, change everything. Probably go spend more time with the guys who didn't come back. Amen, brother. That's a great one. Wouldn't change anything about that. But yes, the memorials we've been to, the grave sites, right? Hawaii. We even have a video when we looked at. We went and visited Joe Reitzman and Lieutenant. No, so I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm wanting to get to John McJunkin's question, but yes, and it's, it's you can't beat those times. You can't get that time back. That's again along with buddy checks, right? Sharing memories with those of us that are still around on those anniversaries, those days, Memorial Day. Absolutely, great point. That was a good one. Still waiting on Space Force, right, to join in. Yep. I like the cameo by Little Cece. That was cool, right? Okay, on the video. That's one of our members, Kimi Cocoa Puffs. She liked the cameo by Little Cece on the video.
Which little Cece?
Cadet Cece.
Oh, she was in the video. No cameo.
See, you tell your daughter that. You tell number one that. Here we go. Cadet Alcarez asks, so as a former drill instructor and a staff senior non-com, what did you look for in new recruits to see if they had leadership qualities? So as a drill instructor, great question. As a drill instructor, I didn't know about JROTC, believe it or not, prior to joining the Marine Corps. They didn't have it in my 2 high schools that I went to. I didn't know anything about it. And even as a recruit, I remember coming and say, oh, it's a JROTC. I was like, doesn't mean anything to me, only because I didn't know about it. Until I saw, man, how does he already know how to drill? He can do all these things. So I got a little jealous at first. And then later becoming a drill instructor, when kids would show up and say, sir, this recruit was JROTC, battalion commander for whatever. One, I'd thrash him just because I'm a drill instructor and he's a recruit to get his attention, but I'd keep my eye on them. Anyone that had done any kind of, again, I've just said this before, JROTC, Sea Cadets, Young Marines, little Devil Pups, any of those programs that teach the basics of drill, which equals discipline, already got a leg up, right, in boot camp. So I would seek those out right away as a drill instructor. They always did a little bit better. They had, or not always, because then you got a guy that just wants to learn everything. So he's a fresh slate, right? We talk about shooters. People say the best shooters, first question we ask, who's never shot a weapon before in their life? And the ones that raise their hand are a little embarrassed. Normally better shooters because they're going to listen to every piece of instruction. You get guys that have been shooting since they were 2, they got bad habits already. That's with everything. Swimming, the same thing. So 50-50, what you're getting when you say, I've been shooting guns my whole life, may not be able to hit a little tiny dot 500 yards away on the Marine Corps rifle range with a Marine Corps rifle. So it could be different, but that's what I do as a drill instructor. And then later as a leader, first thing Marines judge right off the bat. In case you don't know, Marines judge everyone. And the first thing we judge is your appearance. Right? You check into a new unit kind of needing a haircut, where they can't tell, did you get a haircut? If they even got to ask, when does a good Marine need a haircut? Never, because he always has one. Good haircut. So you get judged right away as soon as you walk up to a new unit. They still checking in alphas? Where you at, Guns? Do people check in alphas anymore? Check in your alphas. You're being inspected by everyone you come across. If you're overweight, right, you're judged already. If you show up on light duty, no matter how legitimate it may be, it was an accident, something happened, you broke your leg, all of a sudden you're a light duty commando. Marines judge, right or wrong or indifferent, it happens 100%. The first PT run you go on, somebody falls out, he is a forever run drop. So you have to go above and beyond to prove otherwise. So even as a sergeant major, when I get new Marines checking in, hey, Devil Dog, good to meet you. Where you from? Where you from? Like not just unit, but back home. Where you from? Oh, okay, Kentucky. Good to meet you. What's your PFT score? How many pull-ups can you do? It's just automatic, right? How fast can you run a 3 mile? Because we're getting ready to go on a 6 mile, and I want to know if I got to worry about you or not. So the best at everything, or trying to be the best at everything. That's what you need to do to be ready for the next unit, right? You get judged. Marines, we judge other services, we judge other uniforms, right? Constantly judging the other services' hair regulations, facial hair regulations, the females, the ponytails, and all the weird stuff. It's not weird to them because that's their regulations. They're in their regs, but we judge them because they're not like us. It's what Marines do. All right. Haircut every Sunday in Oceanside. There you go. Hill Street. Go down to Hill Street, Pacific Highway now. Juice says, when we checked into new unit, some turd decided instead of collar shirt, he wore an Under Armour shirt thing. Let's just say dude was a turd and being nice. Yes. Yeah. Um, I did check in one time. I think it was 2-5, actually. I was a first sergeant. Yes, it was. I don't want to say I got punked out, but I got professionally embarrassed, if you will, a little bit. So in San Mateo in 2-5, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, IRA, retreat hell. Checked into 5th Marines. However, their admin in what was called IPAC, their Information Personnel Administrative Center, whatever IPAC stands for, was all the way across the base. Camp Pendleton's huge. So I went to 2-5 in my alphas, met who I had to meet. I was a first sergeant, met the other first sergeants, the sergeant major, the master guns, the battalion commander. Era. That's another story too. Somebody remind me about that, meeting the battalion commander for the first time in 2-5. I'm a first sergeant. So I meet everybody. They're like, good to go, Devil Dog. Glad to have you aboard. We're getting ready to deploy, 30 days. So be ready. Go to IPAC to finish your check-in. So slightly familiar with Pendleton because I had been on main side many, many years. This was a little different. I was out in God's country now. From San Mateo to the flight line, I don't even remember what area numbers those are called now, but the IPAC for 5th Marines was in about an hour away through base, 45 minutes. So I change over into camis because, again, infantry, everywhere. Change over to camis, drive across base, find IPAC, which is a little old crappy building somewhere near the flight line. I'm checking in, and I have, all my papers, everything. I had everything I was supposed to have. And I go to the first clerk I see was a female corporal. I say, hey, Devil Dogs, first sergeant Cece, I'm checking in 2-5 era. She's like, is this your first day, first sergeant? Very professional. I said, yes, it is. I already met with the battalion commander, sergeant major, era. Good to go. She said, all right, well, here's all your stuff back. You need to check in service alphas. Wait a minute, corporal. I didn't lose my cool. I was like, no, I already did all that in San Mateo with the battalion. I did all that. Now I'm checking in with you. She's like, it was good that you went there, first sergeant. Again, still very professional. It's good that you went there and met everybody, but your check-in starts now. When I stamp your orders, this is your first moment of check-in. So your leave and your travel and all that'll be starting right now. You need to get into alphas, first sergeant. So I did. What was I going to do? Get in an argument with her, and when she's holding my records and I still haven't checked in, I need my order stamped to show that I checked in on time. And she was 100% right. So I went back across base, got back in my service alpha uniform era, and went back in, went to check in to that corporal. She was gone. She was on lunch. I had to check in with somebody else. It wasn't even, it was like, oh, yeah. Welcome, first sergeant. Hey, you still, it's hot. Why are you still in your outfits? You didn't need to be. Lesson learned. Professional. Hurrah. How did we get on that subject? What was the question? USMC vet. Did my civilian job call SFMF because I missed it? Read it. What do you say?
I'm in trouble with HR today. I had to watch a sensitivity video over an hour. Man, am I having a crappy day.
Did you tell them simplify, my friend?
I told them to stay every day.
Not today. Maybe.
It worked out every next time.
McJunkin. Young Marine. Boncelli. Is that how you say it? Asks. So was there ever a time that you had to do either break or bend rules in order to keep an innocent Marine from being unfairly punished or discharged? Very interesting. Great question. Yeah, it tested my integrity. However, another reason I wanted to stay in and become a first sergeant so I could handle the UPBs, right? We're at USMC Cece, the unit punishment book for Marines that were getting in trouble and being punished for the things that they did wrong. So, hey, Cookie. Yes, Carl. So, yes, did I ever bend the rules to help Lay Cookie? Maybe. But here's really the gist of it. And remind me to get back on track in a minute, because on the drill field, I almost got in some serious trouble. And luckily, there was a sergeant major there, Truscott, big, gigantic, looked like a scary guy that would, the whole time he was talking to you, he'd be inspecting you as a drill instructor. He's huge. He's, yeah. He became a police chief when he retired. Anyhow, he was my battalion sergeant major, and I did some things as a green belt, kind of thrashed a couple kids, and I was standing tall in front of the battalion commander. And could have been an NJP offense, but it was just me being overly aggressive. Was nothing malicious about it. Kid got hurt. It was my fault. Could have easily been NJP'd and moved aside, and who knows where I'd be today. But what he did as a sergeant major was, yes, he protected me. Did he break or bend some rules? I'm thinking probably for the good of the Corps, though. And it was a situation I had gotten myself into. See, what had happened was, but it was a situation just like that. And once I experienced that, again, what motivated me to want to become a sergeant major. So the young Marine that gets busted for underage drinking when he's 20 years old and he had a couple beers in his barracks room, it's against the rules, and he should be NJP'd, busted down to Lance Corporal, put on restriction for 3 months, and deduction and pay. All those things could happen. But a good first sergeant or sergeant major will, yes, protect that Marine. He's still going to pay for it. He's still going to be held accountable, but in a little bit different way. As a young Marine in Okinawa, the mistakes I made over there, instead of paperwork and being busted or reduced, I had to dig a fighting hole, right? In the middle of summer in Okinawa at 1500 in the afternoon while my squad leader was drinking a beer, watching me, laughing at me, kicking dirt back in the hole. As Lake Cookie, building that Lake Cook Canal, he could have easily been kicked out for some things that he did. Marines protected him. Is that breaking the rules? Is that integrity violation? Nope, it's doing the right thing for the right people. So Great, great question. And remember that when you do become a leader and you have that motivator that has all the potential in the world, you got to protect them. I even did a short on that protection piece because that's what leaders are charged to do. That's why you're in a leadership position, not throw you under the bus, not look the other way, not just hope it goes away and move on and just make it till tomorrow is kind of what I'm dealing with recently. Take care of your people, protect them at all costs. That's your job. That's exactly why you're there. Lake Cookie, I'm good with it, Carl. I was in a pain in the ass, but a good working Marine and have grown up to be a productive member of society. And again, not only because Lake Cookie's on here, 100% the hardest working Marine I've ever experienced in my entire career, still to this day. And again, tact, and he had a very low tolerance for stupidity. Everyone agreed with him, but everyone kind of bit their tongue when Lake Cookie couldn't anymore. He called out this stupidity, and some people don't like that. Those bad leaders don't like that. Again, kind of what I'm dealing with currently. Heavy J, it's probably a good thing the service didn't take me. I can't help. Can't bend the rules and covering others, knowing they will owe me a favor or two, and they still owe me today. So again, it's not for everybody, no doubt about it. You have those leaders that just 100% by the book. You did this, you're going to have this punishment, this punishment, this punishment. Don't do it again. And you have the ones that just a little slap on the wrist. Those learn nothing. Okay. Yes. Carrie Emery Potts, great idea. We should have a split screen and have Lay Cookie tell us some stories. We're going to do even better than that, Carrie Ann Marie Potts. Next time we travel, we're going to visit Lay Cookie in the shop because I want to see where all this stuff is made, and I want to get some more stuff, make some more orders. And we're going to get Lay Cookie on the channel, 100%. Nothing but full of knowledge. You know, we're going to have to bleep him out we're going to have the buzzer language, earmuffs. But yes, y'all will love it. Absolutely. Are we waiting on Kevin at all? Right, Carrie Ann Marie? I can't wait. Need some pointers. I got you, Lake. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great show when it happens, not if. We definitely will. Joseph, what was your most dangerous encounter? Here's something I like to tell people. You know, usually younger kids, young Marines, and you're a Marine. How many people you kill? It's not a question you ask any veteran, but most dangerous encounter. That's a great way to put it, Joseph. And here's a way to think about it: the hardest patrols, believe it or not, foot patrols or even vehicle patrols. The hardest patrols are the ones that you get no contact in. Right? Think about that for a minute. You're on a patrol, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, 7 hours. You have no engagement, no enemy engagement. You see locals, see people, get some candy, give some candy out, get some shoes to some kids, some stuffed animals, right? You encounter people, but no enemy. And here's why that's so tough. Because you expect it every step. Every step you take, you expect to be blown up, to be sniped for incoming mortars, a rocket. Can you imagine doing that for hours and hours? And then you got to sit down and take a break, or you do see something or hear something, or you get some intel. Everyone takes a knee, and man, am I looking in the right direction? Am I going to see that round as it goes over my head? So hours of that is mentally tough. And again, as weird as it may seem, a firefight, an encounter, now you know what's going on, and now you are engaging, now you are firing back, and even injuries. Obviously, you don't want anyone injured or killed, which happens, but yes, pucker butt effect. is worse when you don't get engaged. And that's even that last step until you cross back into friendly lines and they close that gate behind you, or the gunner's got, all right, you're in, back in friendly lines. Oh, and it's like, man, that was an intense 7 hours. What happened? What happened? Nothing. That was intense. Nothing for 7 hours. Drenched in sweat, starving. Nothing happened. You should be like, whew, and you are thankful, but those are tough. Those are hard engagements, or those are hard patrols, vehicle patrols, just waiting. Every roll of the tire just waiting to be blown up. Thanking God it doesn't, but it's tough. All right. Randall says, people might watch Saving Private Ryan, Omaha Beach. Again, that one's pretty accurate, and I think I just read something that was one of the most accurate. And watch it and just kind of live it with them. The whole movie, actually, I really like Saving Private Ryan. The combat part, even the Vietnam part of Full Metal Jacket, pretty intense as well. There's some good ones. James, what's your take on British troops? The few that I have served with, Iraq and Afghanistan, warriors, beasts. Those guys are tough as nails, right? Never had an issue with anyone. Randy's garbage on the street in Iraq, 9 out of 10. It was camouflage IED. Amen. USMC vet, nothing. And another thing I still carry with me today, who has that, Doc or Ray? A habit or something that I carry with me today. You see trash on the ground, you don't touch it, you don't pick it up. First thought, IED. And my kids, look, IED box. And not knowing when they were younger, not knowing really what that meant was, but anything on the side of the road, any random, you don't pick anything up. And I have called on a suitcase at an airport before, random sitting off on the sign. It's 100% IED. Good thought process to have. Not, I don't freak out and put my family on a perimeter and face outboard and I'll find out what that is, get EOD in here with the hook and the robot. But it's good to be aware. You never know, right? Especially uh, today's society. Lay Cookie, my OCD has been bugging me. You need to adjust your military alignment and center that dome between yours and the flag. Which way? Am I going to move the right way? I'm telling you, the producer kept telling me move that way. Oh, dang it. She's probably right. Let me watch the arrow. Is it? Because, the camera's one way. I'm looking at she wants to move. Dang it. She was right. Thanks, Lay Cook. How's that? Is that center?
You're not centered, though. Super annoying.
Oh, but now I'm not centered on the camera. How's that? What? Go back? Oh, she said go back. All right. No, our left. It's because you have the camera tilted. Funny. All right. Are we talking to James? Or no? Who's the one?
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin is our clown. He gone? You ever served with French Foreign Legion troops? As I'm thinking of joining, I was kicked out of the British forces, unfortunately. French Foreign Legion, I don't know if I ever have. I've seen French in combat, probably Desert Storm when every country was there. Never personally, I couldn't tell you any stories about them, no. Sam, Caceres, curious how challenged it was to become E9. Getting promoted all the way up the chain of command, here's what I'll tell you. Don't try and game the game. Don't try and game the system. And I did, tried for the longest time. I tried my best as an engineer to stay away from the engineer community because I did not want to be a master sergeant or a warrant officer. I didn't want to stay in the community. So I was purposely doing some stuff, going to every school. I didn't want to go to the engineer career course, engineer advanced course. I didn't. Good leaders kept telling me, stop worrying about it. Don't pass up a school ever. my last school I went to before I got selected for first sergeant was the engineer chief's course. I thought that was going to ruin my career. I would never become a first sergeant because they would say, well, look, he's been to engineer school, basic engineer school, engineer NCO school, and now engineer chief's school. He's got to be a master sergeant or a warrant officer. He knows everything there is to know about engineer field. Again, ask Lay Cookie. He knows I don't. But I went to those schools reluctantly, not a quitter. So I went and did my very best. I was worried it was going to make me not allow me to be a first sergeant. What it did, what the board did look at is that I was willing to do anything and everything to better myself, to help educate myself even more in any area of anything. So don't try and game the game. And I was trying to game it to ensure that it was going to be a first sergeant. But leaders knew better, right? I should have just trusted them and just did everything to the best of my ability. And that's what everyone should do. Just do everything to the best of your ability. You will be rewarded for the needs of the Corps. And hopefully what exactly you want, right? You want nothing but the best for everyone. USMC vet, but we have warrant officers have better, but we warrant officers have better cookies and coffee. Warrant officers are definitely a special breed, and I've met some amazing warrant officers. Met a couple lazy ones too as well. That's across the board in all ranks. But yes, warrant officers are definitely a special breed of warriors. Cadet Whitman. So I heard that the military has given troops meds equal to meth during combat. Is this true? And was it legal to refuse to take it? Never heard that. Again, I'm too young for the Vietnam era. I don't think they.
I've heard it too.
You've heard it.
For Vietnam, it was for like people that need to steal them for their targets, like snipers and stuff.
Really? Oh,
And stuff. And that's what it doesn't.
like speed or something to keep you awake? Yeah, the producer has heard that as well, Whitman. I had never. No.
I was trying to get some for you.
I mean, we Ambien is pretty much the only thing that I've ever taken when I was with the Air Wing, because that helps you go to sleep. You had to get a certain amount of rest hours before you can go back on duty. But no, I haven't heard of that. But I mean, I believe it. Maybe she was talking about like snipers when you had to stay awake for 3 days at a time. They'd give you something equivalent to meth. And could you refuse it? I absolutely, I think, but
Supposedly non-addictive.
yeah, it's not. Again, they'll take care of you. It's non-addictive. It's not meth, and it is to assist you in your duties. So, interesting question, though. That's. I wonder if it was ever. Again, if it is non-addictive and it's only a requirement for that particular mission. Uh, I told you I took everything when I was active duty. Anything they gave me, told me to take, I would take. Uh, where's Rejack's men? Yes, he served in the military or hang out for a little while, brother. Warrant officers are awesome. Nobody knows what we do or how we do it or why we do it. When we disappear and we agree at appear at random times. Yes, that's you just explained warrant officers to a T, 100%. They're, they're that. Where's 808 on here? Chief Warrant Officer 5. That's that unicorn that you just all of a sudden they appear. Right? It could be a staff meeting. They show up. Right? If it's sleeves up, their sleeves will be down. If it's sleeves down, their sleeves will be up. They're going to have coffee. Give maybe 2 cents to that meeting, and then they're gone. Poof. Where'd the warrant officer go? Interesting. No-dos always kept me awake on long patrols. Yep. Took some no-dos. Yes, definitely. Doxy, crazy dreams, bloated guts. Another UK. Good evening, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. Whew, yes, man, killing it. You guys are awesome. I'm telling you. All right, shorts this week. I did a couple shorts this week, trying to get back into it. We were doing some stuff in the production team in the SFMF. What do you call it? The vault, the cave production team, the library, doing some stuff. A couple of the shorts. Which ones? Remind me of the shorts that we did. I know. What were they? Help me. Oh, see, look at it. See, there, you just did them. You don't remember. She doesn't remember either.
I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them.
She didn't watch them. Rude. All right. Yep, J-Dub, kind of like the Master Guns. Nowhere to be and always on time. That's the Master Guns, too. And not only will his sleeves be either down when they're supposed to be up or vice versa, his blue trouser blousings will be close to the ground, right? Coffee. Just smoked a pack of cigarettes before he came into the meeting. Doc, what's the most rewarding project you worked on that made a significant impact on the mission of your unit?
Hollow threats.
It's what? Oh, yeah.
No hollow threats. The screw you.
We did a,
You're making the drill instructor.
as a young, look, Kimi Kimi Cocoa Puffs watched them. A project I did decades ago. First time I was in charge of a project as a combat engineer, as a corporal, was to build a sidewalk, probably about maybe 30 feet. It had one angle in it, and not even a 45-degree angle. It was to tie a pre-existing sidewalk to the entrance of a building. Pretty trafficable sidewalk that a lot of people were going to see. And it was my first one as the project manager, if you will. Still there to this day. And it's still crooked, just like I put it in. There's a couple cracks in it. The angle wasn't perfect. Still got Alpha Company 3rd CEB in there. Got the date. A couple of us put our initials in it, but it's still there today. So pretty rewarding. That's 30 some years later. I don't know how many, still there. So I'm pretty proud of that one. And then whenever I make it back to Hawaii, take a look at it. I built that. It's ghetto. It's terrible. Good enough for government work, right? That's what they say. It's good. J-Dub, thank you, everyone. Remember, double tap that screen. Let's see what Poolee Cronin says. Man. What? Oh, yeah.
Focus.
The producer just told me to
Hollow
focus.
threats.
The shorts this week.
Mimicking the
First one was
no hollow threats.
no hollow threats. And that came about because, again, the current situation that I was in. If you do this, you're going to get in trouble. Then the individual does that, and they don't really get in trouble. If it's a written order, a rule, or regulation that everyone knows, if you violate that, you will be punished. And then when it comes time for punishment, well, next time you do it again, you'll be punished. That's a hollow threat. And I learned that from the producer. Right? She says you do something wrong, you're going to pay for it. And here's the problem with it. Is it a hookup? Maybe back to that bending the rules, or no? You still got to be held accountable of exactly what you said is going to happen, right? And here's a good way to look at it. You touch that boiling water, you're going to get burned. You touch the boiling water, you should expect to be burned. If they say don't touch the boiling water and it's really not boiling, well, then you're going to touch it again. So if you tell someone, if I catch you on your phone again, I'm going to take it away for a week. You catch them on the phone, you take it away after day 2, you're like, here, go ahead. Just don't do it again. Nobody learns anything. That individual does not learn a thing. He'll keep it for a day. He won't put me on restriction. He said 30 days, but I'll be off in 2 weeks. So whatever he did to get in trouble, he will do it again. Why not? He's not going to stand the full punishment. It's harder as the leader to hold you to that 30 days. Right? Again, I don't want to talk about the producer and bring on, but come around and tell the story. One of our kids, a rule was to get A phone, straight A's. All of a sudden a B popped up. And it's until the next grades come out. Once you get that A, you get your phone back. And that's like a quarter. That's 3 months. It's tough. Would be easy, and if you feel bad, you know what? Here, get that A. Do your best to get that A. No, it's CC number 5. We'll have her on here one day eventually. She went a long time without a phone because it was a 98 point something, but it was not an A. It was hard to watch. Man, how do you hold that strong for so long? But got that A, phone, everything's good. Everyone learned something. It's hard. It's hard to hold people accountable. That's why leaders today don't do it. And it just sets that individual up for failures. I don't even remember what the short, how much I explained in the short, but again, something I'm currently dealing with, that leaders aren't holding their people accountable. You back up a little bit. Hold yourself accountable first so you can hold people accountable. It's hard to hold people accountable. It takes work. It takes leadership problem. What was the second one?
Mimicking the truth.
Mimicking. That was today, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, when the drill instructor tells you, and you got to respond right away when the drill says, hey, come here, you. Did you do that? Sir? Or if you don't say anything, oh, what's the matter with you? Why didn't you salute when you walked by? And you just stand there and freeze. You don't say anything. The drill instructor, of course, says, hey, you better acknowledge me right now. Say something. Yes, sir. No, sir. I can't say because it's a PD channel, but he gives you those options. Yes, sir. No, sir. Aye, sir. Screw you, sir, is what I use for the. And how many times did you want to say, yes, I choose option number 3. Screw you. Funny the things that drill instructors do and say. And the last one was today. What was the last one today? Today's short. Somebody remind me. Where at, producer?
What?
What was today's?
That was today's, wasn't it, when you mimicked the drone
Oh, no. Then today's was mimicking the drill instructor. Yes, we had one. And as a recruit, do I remember? Do we mimic our? Oh, yeah. That's 2 times. 2 quick stories on that. Our Jay was youngest drone instructor on the West Coast at the time. He was not our Jay, our threat, our kill hat. New, right? But he was full of fire. He stuttered and wore braces. And he had these evil eyes. They were like a weird blue that just, he would look through your soul. Anytime he talked to you, I'm telling you, he was the devil. But he stuttered. So when he was talking to you, he stuttered. If anyone stutters, not trying to make fun of any of them, but he would say things like, hey, come here, get the, and I'd say, get the platoon. Like I'd finish his sentence for him. And then he would yell. He never stuttered when he yelled or sang cadence. He sang the most awesome cadence, running cadence and hiking cadence was awesome. But when he spoke, it had nothing to do with being nervous, right? He was the drill instructor. We were recruits, but it's when he spoke. So of course we called him Jaws because his braces, and he spit when he talked, and his eyes were like a shark's, and so all those things. So he had a nickname for him. It was Jaws, and we would mimic him. Hey, guy, take the and we do it to each other. We get a little giggle out of it until he hurt us one time. Wasn't funny anymore, ever. And I think that was the day we stopped mimicking him. And another one was I was on mess duty as a recruit, and the mess sergeant, I don't even know what rank he was, Staff Sergeant Gunny. I don't know, but he was the one that yelled at us all day long, clean this pot shack. This was when recruits did mess and maintenance. And we happened to be on mess duty. And I was the guide for the mess men. So I'd go to the pot shack and make sure you guys are doing what you're supposed to do. And when the mess sergeant wasn't yelling at us, I was supposed to like keep everybody in order. Of course, I'd go to the pot shack and screw around with them, and go outside the trash guys. And that's when the recruits dumped their own trays, right? The big trash can full of slop. Someone had to make sure there's no silverware. The recruits had accidentally put silverware in there. And it was disgusting slop, like you feed a pig. It was wet and there's food. Yeah, so I would go around doing that. When the mess sergeant was gone, he had a real heavy accent. He was a little shorter. So on one of the breaks, the recruits are all sitting in a little break room, sitting on stuff, trash cans, buckets, boxes. And I like snuck up on them in the doorway, went around the doorway. Said, oh, you think you want to just take a break? And I just started mimicking the mess sergeant. It was funny. They were all laughing. I didn't mean any disrespect, but it was nice to have a break and kind of let your hair down a little bit. We're all laughing. They're laughing. I just kept going on and on. And yes, you can guess what happens next. They all stopped laughing instantly. All six of them just stopped and had that look on your face. And I didn't see it because I was carrying on. And you think you can just do whatever you want around here? And I didn't hear them laughing anymore. So I looked and they had that look of fear on their face. Busted. I just asked the question you know I'm going to ask. He's right behind me, isn't he? Yes. And then he went out, took me out, and all those buckets of slop from every meal throughout the day, I had to look for silverware in each one of those. And it's a trash can. So I was up to my cheek, reaching to the bottom, trying to find silverware to pull out. It was horrible. Never made fun of him again. Yeah, he's right behind me, isn't he? Thanks for giving me a heads up. Right? They could have coughed something, just ran out of there. They could have cued me in a little better. It's leaving. Sneak peek. Hot Rod. Next week. Facts. Yeah. Hot Rod, you still with us? Is you still here? Hot Rod. How's it look for next week? Hot Rod. Text. Text. We'll hook it up. If you're still here, Hot Rod, let me know next Sunday. Next Sunday, right? Shoot, that's in a couple of days. Sunday, Hot Rod, let's do it. If you're here, say so. Sneak peek, Hot Rod, y'all see him on the channel. He's done a call in before. What was that for? Was that Marine Corps birthday? Marine Corps birthday. He called in. He's traveling. We ended up meeting up later, but we did do a call in podcast. We almost did it this past weekend. Some things came up in the SFMF household, but Hot Rod, if you're still there, we want to do it this Sunday. Sneak peek, Gunner Sergeant Rodriguez Chavez, Mr. Modelo. More importantly, Navy Cross recipient. So we want guns on the show. Let us know. All right, if you're still there. If not, I'll shoot you a text. Did anyone mimic you and you catch them? If so, you do to them? Nah, in boot camp, I don't remember. I think they did. They even had a gong show for a while. And so I did have a thing in boot camp when I was a drill instructor at a TMI, but I was starting to get the early onset of a hernia from yelling so loud. So I had to. Oh no, I did have two. I had another one too. Can I tell that story? The hernia. Yeah. So it started on the drill field from yelling so loud, just straining, and I had to, in order for it to not burst, whatever hernias do. Yeah, they pop through. Yeah, so I would like push it back in. I'm not a doctor, but I would start to yell and I'd feel it start coming up, so I'd put it back in, just on my hip area. But as a drone instructor, you yell pretty much for about 20 hours a day. So as I was constantly pushing it back in, I just held it there, and then it got so bad when I was drilling, calling cadence, low, left, right, marching. I had to just hold it in. So it didn't look too unnatural. So I thought, running PT, low, right, or left, I'd have to hold it in, so it wouldn't push out. And they told me, yes, we should fix it now. As a drone instructor, I was like, I can't be on light duty as a drone instructor. I'll do it later. the other drone instructors, of course, were messing with me. They're, hey, what's up, drone instructor? And they would hold that little spot. So I think I'm sure the cadets, maybe I never caught them, but I'm quite certain that they did. Um, that was painful, and it eventually just kind of went away. Recruits, they probably, I'm sure they were weird, the things you hear and the things you don't hear over there.
Wait, Caroline Marie had a question. Did anyone mimic you, and did you catch them? And if so, what did you do to them?
Well, that's what I was answering that question. So I would catch the recruits. I never caught them, but I was told that they're doing you again. They're doing you. They're holding that spot. And I did have a nickname. Again, I never heard the recruits ever call me that, but I was known for a little while as the hat that rocked the cradle. And hats is what they call drone instructors. Drone instructors call other drone instructor a hat. Nickname only kind of, you only kind of use down there. If you know, if you're not a hat, you don't get to do it. But it's a common nickname for drone instructors. Any three hats over here. New hat. Look at the new hat he just got off. Still smells like cash sales. Old hat. I don't know where that came from, but it's just a thing. Need two hats at the PT field right now. So there was a weapons field training battalion up north in Camp Pendleton. This is MCRD San Diego. To get to the part of the training out past the range where I think we set up tents or some helo ops out there. It was an old helicopter. You do loading, offloading of helicopter rehearsal. But to get out there, it's Pendleton's Hills, but there was this one dip that they called the cradle. And it was probably about 20 feet down. The bottom was real shallow, and then 20 feet right back up. It was a huge cradle. Like you get winded, you walk through it one time. And it was on the way to the helo pad. And we'd hike out there, and you'd go down, you kind of, shuffle a little bit because it's so steep, and get up on the other side, you kind of dig in to get to the other side. You're kind of winded getting to the other side. Then you go do your helo ops, and you got to do it one more time because you got to get back to base camp. So I was a green belt, new. It was my first night on duty by myself, right? All the seniors left. There's one senior on duty, but he was staying in the barracks. We were staying in the field. And it's the last truckload out of the evening chow is gone. Tents are set up. They're getting ready to go in the racks. That's when the officers, seniors, chief, everyone leaves. The only one left in the field is one hat per platoon. And again, I finally made it. Get this duty by myself. Right before my senior drill instructor leaves, he says, drill instructor, I want you to thrash them tonight. I'm like, aye, senior drill instructor, I got it. I'm waiting for this night to finally have them on my own for the first time. We're going to play some games. So they all left, and I called the guide over. Come on, stand here. You can tell me when you don't see that truck anymore, because it's God's country out there, right? We've been warning them about this day. And he's standing there, positioned attention, watching the vehicle drive away. It's like, we're up on a hill, so you can kind of see it for a long time. And he's like, sir, vehicle's out of sight. I said, good, we're playing some games. And I was thrashing, just IPT, I had to dig some holes, just getting them all nice and sweaty before they went in the rack. 2-man tents, right? Shelter halves back then. As soon as they all get in the rack and it's dark, can't see anything, it's time. It's time to play games. So Hooch Monster, right? If you know, I was the Hooch Monster that night and just started walking across the tents. And maybe some poles got snapped. Maybe I might have stepped on a cadet or two. You never know, a recruit or two. I got them all out, got their packs on, got their rifles up. Did a rifle count, did a body count, got everybody. Follow me. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had no plan, but I took off. Follow me. Me and the guide took off. I was going to the cradle. Right? I figured I'd kick their butt a couple of times, wear them out, they'll go right to sleep, no matter what their tent looked like. But this adrenaline came upon me, and it was my first time alone with them. Are they going to really do exactly what I say? I'm the drill instructor, sure, but this is crazy. It's lights out. All the other platoons are sleeping. 89 recruits online following me, and I do the cradle one time. Not even winded. Didn't even feel it. So I turned around. Oh, really? You want to move slow? Turn around, did it again. Let's go. Waiting on it. Always waiting on one. Turn around, did it again. Turn around, did it again. Was this JTB's? I think it was after his. Turn around, did it again. I don't know how many times he did it. And the recruits are strung out all over the place. Some are on the bottom, not a whole lot of room on the bottom. There's a kid down there holding his ankle. One of the times I got in trouble, sir, I can't, this can't. The guide was right there with me though, 100% of the time. Up and down, up and down. I don't know how many times. And I never got tired. I'm telling you, it was the craziest thing. Like that mother strength to lift a car up. If their baby was under there, I had that kind of strength and freaking intensity. So I really got bored before I got tired. So I put them back up, gathered them all up. It took me a while to count. Got my moonbeam out, count. I got 89 weapons. Get back to the hooch. Go to sleep. If I hear a sound, we're doing it again. And again, I was fired up, adrenaline rushing, walking up and down, waiting to just hear a noise or see a moonbeam come on or something. Nothing. The surprising thing, they were pretty quiet. But the next morning, that recruit that was holding his ankle actually kind of damaged his ankle. He was hurt a little bit, and the company commander saw that he was limping, getting his field chow, dragging kind of his ankle a little bit. And the company commander was like, "Son, what happened to you? Wait, how did you get injured?" This kid, just being completely honest and trying to throw me under the bus a little bit, said, "Sir," nice and loud so the whole entire series could hear. When these recruits were rocking the cradle last night with drill instructor Sergeant Cece, this recruit fell. Recruit stepped on this recruit, and now this recruit's ankle's broken. And of course, I'm off to the side, kind of waiting to hear, I'm waiting for the next drill instructor. So he didn't call me right away. He called my senior. Huh? Yeah, he actually did. Scary calm. He was a big dude. And all of a sudden I heard senior drill instructor. He called my senior first. And my senior went over there and they were chatting a little bit. Couldn't hear him. I pretended like none of this was happening and it was just going to go away. And then I hear, drill instructor, come here, from my senior. So now it's the company commander, my senior drill instructor, and me standing in front of both of them, the entire series sitting on the deck, crisscross, eating their breakfast. And this company commander, as a young sergeant, he's like, "What'd you do last night?" I was like, "Sir?" You know, the sir, the Air Force salute. "Sir?" He said, "You know exactly what I'm talking about. What'd you do with the recruits last night after lights out?" I said, "Well, sir, the recruits are, being undisciplined. I need to just tighten them up a little bit." "Tighten them up? How did you tighten them up? Why you got an injured recruit in here? Senior drill instructor, what advice did you give this drill instructor before you left?" Left me hanging, threw me under the bus. He said, "Sir, I told him the BDR, bed him down and get ready for training tomorrow." No, he left out the part where he said, "Thrash him, show him who's in charge." So I didn't say anything. I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm trying to make Marines and you're trying to break recruits. I don't know if I need you up here." He fired me on the spot. He said, "Give me your belt and cover, take off." And again, if you know, drill instructors out there, he took my belt and cover and had to walk that truck, that 3 mile road, dust in there. I walked that. He said, "Go home. We'll call you. Don't call us." And it worked out, right? That's one of the times that sergeant major saved me. And but from then on, I was known as the hat that rocked the cradle because that word got out quick. Or CC, is he going to make it back? So yes, nickname. I don't know if they mimicked me with the PT, and they definitely gave me a nickname that had to rock the cradle. All right. Where we at? Did Hot Rod take off already? Anybody see if he replied?
Don't.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm with you, Randall. Again, I was a new to the drill field, didn't know the protocol. I was, you know what I mean? I was a good Marine. Yes, sir. Aye, aye, sir, and did what I had to do. Um, but yeah, he went on. And again, I was taken care of by that sergeant major, good sergeant major. Doc says, while feared in boot camp, many Marines later realized their DI was one of the most influential figures in their lives. Amen to that, Doc, as well. And again, as a recruit, you think all your drill instructors like 6'6", 250 pounds, they could crush you if they want. Why are they so mean and angry? But that's they're serving a purpose. They're making Marines. And I tell you, I did learn a lesson that day when the company commander said just that. I'm trying to make Marines. You're trying to break recruits. That really was, and I was like, wow, yeah. I mean, as a green belt, your job is to break them, but you also have to build them back up. Don't break them so bad that you can't make them a Marine anymore. And that's what he said. What training value did that have? What training value did that have? Rocking the cradle so many times, once or twice, sure, got it, got their attention. Now hit the rack. I don't want to hear a noise, and they would have. They absolutely would have the very first time. But doing it so many times just so one of them would get hurt, or right, is clearly what I was trying to do. Was unnecessary, and there's no training value to it. And that carried out throughout the rest of my career. With hazing, right? When so many incidences of hazing throughout my career, seeing it, watching it, and sending people to NJP because of it. What training value does this have? Before you get ready to do something to someone, the rite of passage. They pass the rite of passage when they graduated boot camp, right? When they graduate SOI, whatever your MOS school, those are all rites of passage. You don't need to make it extra hard, extra tough, extra. When I was in, it just congratulations, you graduated, right? That's really all you need to do. All right, couldn't make the first march. Ended up Cousins Platoon Medical. Drill instructor worked long hours, often 18 hours a day, with minimal sleep, putting immense strain on their personal. Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, have the rock your cradle should be a sticker for those that know. Drill instructors definitely are a special breed. I have less of an issue than the hazing, and the senior should have admitted it. Wow, it easily could have been that. You know what? He should have said, "Yes, company commander, apologize. Let me go check on that recruit. I'll counsel the drill instructor." Said then you don't have to worry about a thing. Didn't work out like that. USMC says hit the like button. We are getting ready to land this helicopter. I always forget to talk about the merch. Had some reminders on there. I think that was you. That was Carl. I think that was you, Carl. And I'm going to hit this Poolee Veroma the same time. I'm talking about the merch again. Um, SFMF merch.myshopify.com in the description. The link in the description. Check it out, please. Here's the lanyards. This one's still um, stiff because it's still brand new. Awesome. 100% American made by an American made product. Era 550 cord. You never know when you might need some. All right. Poolee Roma asks, does the military Marine Corps do a decent job in helping military personnel and their families with moving to a new base? Yes. Great question, Roma. And we are going to make a short on that because they 100% absolutely do. So much so that they kind of spoil you when you get out of the service and have to do it yourself. Here's what I mean. First, check out this envelope. I always forget to show you this one. This is what your merch comes in. Sometimes. I was just told. Look at that. And these are OGs on there real close. I don't want to keep putting it back and forth, but it has some screen names. Your what are they called? Your
Subscribers.
Your subscriber name. And you can see it. It's cool. Some of the stickers. So here's how the military helps you move. You pick a date, or they kind of pick it for you. You work that out with TMO, Travel Management Office. Oh yeah.
Okay, wait, don't go too deep because it's changed.
Oh,
They've just changed it recently.
but they still come and pack you out.
It's contracted now.
But they still do everything.
Yes, but there's glitches because they civilian contractors.
Okay. I'm being told by the producer that there's glitches in the system because it has recently changed because
They have civilian contractors.
civilian contractors. So I think they always did. No.
It's different though.
So
You have to schedule. It's no more team. You have to contract it.
Oh, you find your own kind of thing. Yeah.
It's just like privatized housing.
So it's civilian contracted, privatized housing. When they moved from the Marine Corps used to manage all the houses on base. Now then they hired civilian contractors. So I'm sure yes, it's probably a little bit different.
It's just a slow process.
Just a slower process. TMO used to know it because those were Marines setting all that up for you. Again, we had a good buddy who was a TMO officer, and that's what he ran the Marines that would come move you. So they still move you, right? You're not packing your own house up, but you're just setting up. It sounds like setting up the process to do it. Maybe guns can help out anyone active duty. But they come and you prepare your house, you unplug things and stuff you don't want packed up. If you have a trash can somewhere, make sure the trash is out because they're packing everything. Just if you've ever had movers come do it, you kind of just stay out of the way. Um, I'd like to be there and watch and kind of help a little bit, but the best way to help is just get out of their way. You hopefully you still have 3 shipments if you're going overseas. If it's still in CONUS, you have 2 shipments. An express shipment, that's for clothes, some stuff you'll need right away. If you have babies, um, crib, swing, whatever, anything that you'll need like within a couple weeks, they come and pack that out, and that takes off before you even leave that base, and they send it to your new duty station. And then they come get the rest of it, household goods, and pack it in big containers, put it on a truck or a boat. It can depend on where you're going. You get to your new location, your other base housing, or wherever you move into. That express shipment is there, some pots and pans, some daily stuff that you'll need, clothes. That gets you by until your household goods makes it. That takes a little longer. It's a lot more stuff. And then they come and unpack everything. Same thing. You want to help them unpack? Point them, mark your boxes real good. Girls' room, boys' room, kitchen, living room. They'll put the boxes in there. They'll even unpack it and take those boxes and all that wrapping paper with you. A lot of times when we moved as many times as we did, sometimes we tell you, yes, set up that bed because it was a pain in the butt. You took it apart, right? The big screen TV, or if your TV's up on the wall, or all those little things, they'll do all that for you. That's what they're getting paid to do. So just, again, observe, watch, make sure they don't break anything. If something arrives and it is broken, you can make a claim. You'll get paid back for it. We've done that a couple of times too. Pain in the butt, but it's worth it. Same with your vehicle. Overseas, space available, they'll ship it over there for you. So question was, do they help you with all that stuff? They absolutely do. They try to make it as easy as possible. If you are going overseas, they even give you a sponsor, a Marine that's at that unit. You start making contact with each other. Yes, I know you're coming to this unit. My name's Staff Sergeant Jones. I'll meet you at the airport. I'll pick you and your family. How many kids you got? Do you need car seats? Things like that. So I think they still do, even though it's civilian contracted, I got to believe that they do everything in their power to make it a smooth transition because that's tough. Easy for the service member. You're going from one duty station to another. Yeah, meet your new chain of command, but you know what you're going to be doing. Your family, schools, hospitals, everything, grocery stores. They try to help you out as much as possible to make that transition easy. So we need to make the transition out just as easy. A couple more stickers, and we're going to land this helicopter. SFMF merch.myshopify.com. I'd apologize. I stopped, kind of always forget. I get so caught up, get motivated, forget to tell you about the merch. Check out the link in the description. The description in the link. That's where you can find this stuff. The green monster. We have green monsters left. Boom. Got it all. Yeah. Here's a real one with some time and grade. It's got more time and grade than some of you have been alive, and some of our kids. Yes, I think like, when you doodle, I think that my older three kids maybe this old school. Look at old seventh ESB stuff. Lasts a lifetime. A lot of good memories on it. So no, I never want to lose that. Some other stickers. Look at it. It's been so long since I talked about it. Stuff is still kind of out of order. C-130 rolling down the strip. This is a cassette tape for you youngins. Right? See, I saw a meme recently. The cassette tape was laying on the operating bed. Doctors standing all around, and the doc said, "Pencil." Needed a pencil to fix it because that's how I used to. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. The bulldog action. Oh, maybe I'll wear this shirt next time. Little mini reaper. Destroy them all. Let God sort them out. Hey, look at this. Came true. Remember this sticker? Hundreds of and hundreds of thousands of millions of billions military age males coming across the border. Not no more. Here's a little pack of all. All right. Yes, Lay Cookie, I'm with you. Thank you all for the motivation. Again, lessons learned throughout this middle-aged men. Yeah. Thank you all for the motivation. Truly, always inspiring. Love every bit of it. Love all y'all. McJunkin, last one. Oh, you're just saying good night to all of you SFMF family members. God bless you all. Simplify. Good night, Chesty, wherever you are. Good night, Dan Daly, Smedley Butler. Yes, all of you. Get some. Continue. McJunkin, great to see you. Great to have you back in the community. Keep taking care of yourself. I'm adding up the burpees you owe. Don't worry about it right now. Just keep getting after it, brother. We love seeing you on here. We will be back Sunday. I don't know what the date is Sunday, but we're going live Sunday. We're going to get Hot Rod out here, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome show. Join us Sunday, 1800 Central Time. I'm not going to do the math, but please join us. Get the word out. Like and subscribe. Pass the word. Let's continue to grow this community. Love all y'all. God bless. Be safe, but be aggressive. You know the deal. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.